I remember that morning like it was yesterday. The sun was shining, tourists were laughing, and I was standing at my post, thinking it was just another slow day at the beach. But I had no idea that in just minutes, the ocean would come for us, and a 10-year-old girl would be the only one to see it coming. My name's Somchai. Back then, I was a security guard at a hotel in Phuket, Thailand. It was December 26, 2004, the day after Christmas. The beach was packed. Families playing, couples sunbathing, kids building sand castles. Everything felt perfect. Then I saw this British family, a mom, a dad, and their little girl. She looked about 10. Ponytail, pink swimsuit, bright eyes. I remember she was shouting about something, waving her arms. At first, I thought, just a kid throwing a tantrum. But then her father came rushing over to me, looking a bit embarrassed. "You'll think I'm crazy," he said. "But my daughter thinks a tsunami is coming." "A tsunami?" I chuckled nervously. We'd never had one here before. There were no alarms, no warnings, nothing. I almost told him to relax and enjoy his holiday. But just as I was about to speak, a Japanese man walking by overheard us. He stopped dead in his tracks. His face turned white. "She might be right," he said quietly. "If the sea is pulling back, run." That's when I looked out toward the water. And I will never forget what I saw. The ocean. It was disappearing. The waves were dragging the water away from the shore, further and further until the seabed was exposed, leaving behind a thick, dirty foam. Fish were flopping on the sand. Boats lay tilted on dry ground. Some of the tourists were laughing, walking out to pick up seashells and take pictures. But I felt it in my chest, a cold dread. Something was terribly wrong. That's when the little girl screamed again, "We have to go! The water's coming back! Mom is still at the beach! We need to get her!" Her father was finally listening now, and I didn't need any more proof. I grabbed my whistle, took the deepest breath of my life, and started yelling at the top of my lungs, "Everyone off the beach! Move! Get to high ground! Now!" People looked at me like I'd lost my mind. Some ignored me, some just stared. But then, far out at sea, I saw it. A dark line on the horizon. It was growing bigger and bigger. It wasn't a wave anymore. It was a wall. A wall of dark, churning water, 30 feet high, and it was racing toward us. That's when the real panic hit. People started running, screaming, grabbing their kids. It was chaos. The father was waving desperately to his wife, shouting for her to come back from the shore. She was moving as fast as she could, but the water was already rising around her ankles. And then the tsunami hit. The roar was like thunder. No, it was worse. It was the sound of the world ending. The ocean exploded onto the beach, tearing through everything in its path. Palm trees snapped like matchsticks. Cars were lifted and tossed around like toys. I was running, trying to pull people uphill, but the water slammed into us. It was cold, heavy, violent. For a moment, I thought we were all done for. It was a complete nightmare. But somehow, we made it. But the crazy part? Everyone from that beach, every single person, survived. Not one death, because of that girl. Her name, I later learned, was Tilly Smith. She had learned about tsunamis in her geography class just a few weeks before her trip. She recognized the signs, the strange, foamy, bubbling water, the receding sea, and she refused to ignore it. If she hadn't spoken up, if her parents hadn't believed her just in time, we all would have been wiped out. Gone. When the waters finally receded, I climbed a rooftop to look around. The devastation and destruction was unbelievably overwhelming. From this to this, in just a few hours, everything was gone. Cars, buildings, entire villages, just flattened. Over 230,000 people across 14 countries didn't survive that day. But our little stretch of beach? 0 deaths. All thanks to one stubborn little girl who knew what she was talking about. Later, I saw her on TV. They called her the Angel of the Beach. She got medals, awards, and honestly, She deserved every single one of them. Her story was actually published in the New Year's Day Sun France newspaper. This is how she actually looked, and this reminded me that sometimes the smallest voices are the ones that matter most. That day, I learned a powerful lesson. Never underestimate what a child can see, especially when the ocean starts to disappear. Thank you for listening yet again. More stories that deserve to be told are still coming up on this very channel. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.